Hello everyone, this is Christian Meldex Non-Interactive, and in this video we're focusing on first adding in the ability to view our plans within the planner itself. So of course, like I said, we've only have one plan to start with. If you click on that plan, we'll then go to a plan details page where we'll see the name and all of the values for the percents of the categories. We'll see that if you adjust those percents from 60 to 40 and save it, we'll have, for now we're just displaying it, we're just showing it in the console. So we have our 40 down there now. And also we'll have the ability when you hit the create button, it'll go to the details plan, but we have a little bit of work to do for creating. That's what we'll focus on in this video. Alright, and before I get started here, I do want to say thank you for watching the video and for subscribing to the channel. And of course, if you're not a subscriber, I hope that you'll please consider subscribing. With that said, let's go ahead and get started here. So in the last video, we created our planner view, and we see in our console log all the plans, all the meaning the single one that I've created for the initial state during testing. So what we're going to want to be able to do now is to create new plans and edit them. So we're going to need a details page for our plans. So let's start off by creating that page here. So what I'm going to do is come into Views folder, New View, Planner Details.view. For the moment, let's just close that and put a template on here just real quick. Planner details. Save that. We're going to need to be able to access that, so we can go into our types, which are inside the routing, components routing. Let's create a new enum value, planner details. We'll save that. Now that we have that enum created, we can go into the routing service itself and create a new route. So we're just going to steal the planner one, put it here, so we'll have planner details. Planner details. So let's take that, make that the name. Make that the route. This should be the new enum that we have. Let's just make that one the planner. Don't really use the parent any longer, but and the view that we want is the planner details view. To be able to use this, we need to add it to our routes down here. So let's just add in here planner details and save that. So now we'll be able to route to that page. So we can close all of that, and I guess we'll go to the planner view here. So we're going to need to do some importing here. So let's import inject so we can have the routing service. We're going to import from at components slash, we have our list view component. So we have our list view. Just talking about it, let's import from at slash components slash routing. We'll need the iRoute. Routes. Do I really need that iRoute? I don't think so. Let's delete and find out. So we'll have the routes and the routing service itself. Perfect. We're going to need to use that list view, so let's, or not need, we want to use that list view, so let's register it. So we'll have list view. Perfect. And the way that we're going to need or use it is with some JSX. So let's convert this over to TSX. So we have our getter for our plans there. So let's now add our inject statement. So read only, routing service, and it's of type routing service. So what we'll need is two, we can actually get rid of this. We'll need two methods. One if the user clicks on a plan that already exists, and one if they click on the little button to create a new one. So let's do on click. We'll be passed a plan, portfolio plan model. So on there, routing service navigate to. We want to navigate to that. We're using that enum value we created, and to know which one, we're going to pass in the query, and I'll just have the ID on it, and that ID is of course just the plan.id that was passed to us. So we have the ability when you click on it to route to it. So what if you click create? Let's just grab this. It's going to be the same deal, except that now we'll just say 0. Last but not least, we want to create some little render function for a plan. So again, we'll have the portfolio plan model. If we change in the future, who knows? But let's just put a label on it. Only inside of here, plan.name. So I think that should be all that we need on the component itself in order to display the plans. So let's go up to our template here. So we have our list view, and in there we'll just bind items or the plans on click, create, and last but not least, what do we want to show? So there's a render function, and what we want is the render plan. Whoops. So now, if I save that, so now we have it displayed. So again, we only have the single plan already created. So if we click on the growth, we go to the planner details. So that works. No errors apparently. Create, no errors. So we have the ability to go to the plan details now. So we're done with the plan here. Excuse me. So what we'll do is we need to have the planner details. So let's create the component side of this thing. So TypeScript. All right, as usual, we'll start with some importing. So we'll add inject right now since we know it's coming. What is that? Yeah, slash components, routing. We want our routes and routing service. We need some stuff from the store. And what we need is action, push route, action decorator, the action function type, and payload push route. Let's specify that query that we had coming in. We put an ID on it, of course has type string to it. Alright, so now inside of our class here we'll have our action decorator, push route, read only, push route, set for us. It's an action function which takes in a payload of push route. Let's use it here, right? So private mounted, just to remind us of what we use it for. So we say if this dot routing service if dot this dot fix it first at inject read only private read only routing service type of routing service. So if this dot routing service dot is previous route, and we're looking for is the previous route if it's routes dot planner. So typically that happens if we hit refresh, right? It clears the history. So this dot push route, this dot routing service dot create the route, and we need the one for routes dot planner. All right, that takes care of that part there. So we're going to, again, the query has an ID, so let's start with that. ID is a number here. So we can use our routing service to help us out here. This dot ID equals this dot routing service dot query parameter. It's going to be of type query. We want a number to come out of this thing. Passing in the query, and we look for the ID. We're going to use parse int to convert that string to a number, just so that we'll see everything's working. Let's console log this dot ID. If this dot ID is less or equal to 0, and we'll return. Could be nan, I guess. We should deal with that, tighten things up a bit, and if it's not, then we'll just call a function this dot load, which we need to create. So private load, and for the moment console log loading. Save that. So hopefully you can see that. So I'm sitting on the, I clicked on the growth, so we're in ID equals 1, so we get the 1, and we're getting the loading printing in the console. We get rid of our console log statements here. So now we're going to start displaying some things here. Let's import from @ components / we have our detail action buttons. Action buttons. Let's go ahead and register them. So we're free to use them. We'll do that shortly. But now, so we have the number, the ID, if it's greater than 1 or equal to 1. So we have an ID. We need to use that ID to get the plan from our store. So let's, from our store import here, we're going to import that constant. We have the decorator for getter, and we need the type for the portfolio getter portfolio plan. And we're also going to want to bring in the portfolio category model. So let's specify our function here. So it's use the getter decorator, use the constant to specify which one we want. Read only getter plan. Getter portfolio plan is the type. So what we'll do is bring in here, we'll have a private name. So the plan has a name, and then we'll have portfolio categories. Type on those, portfolio category model array, starts off empty. All right, so now we can populate it within our load. So const plan equals this dot getter plan, pass in the ID that we've just gotten. So our name is the plan dot name, and this dot portfolio categories is plan dot categories. And we're going to use those buttons here momentarily that we imported. So we're going to need a private and save method. Now again, console log this dot portfolio categories. Let's go ahead and save that. And it's now time to deal with a little bit of our template up here. So we'll put a form at the root, put some inputs or a div with input class. We'll have an h1, plan details, put a label here so we have a name for that plan. We need an input. So we have vmodel, spell it right, is the name. We'll have put a UL in here, LI. We may have to modify this at some point in time, so we'll have a v4, and that's portfolio category in portfolio categories. We're using 4, so let's bind our key. Portfolio category.id. And does that? Yeah, that's all we actually need for the LIs. Inside of here, let's put a label. And the text in there, portfolio category. It has a category, which is the security category, which has a text getter. Let's put an input on here. And the model type is going to be number. And portfolio category, there's a % on it. We imported our buttons, so detail action buttons. We'll bind save to save. Save ourselves. And as we can see here, and a good bit of things pop up. We have our name, our different categories, and we have our action buttons down here at the bottom. Before we do anything here while I'm thinking about it, let's do our usual and just SAS again. You don't have to include these imports. It's just to help out so that I can again move those imports off of the outer edge a little bit. So we'll include some padding, nothing top and bottom. 2.5. Save that. Let's refresh. I just included that style tag, and it might be hard to see, but we've got a little bit of spacing between the inputs and the outside of the edge of the screen anyway. We have our save categories. Let's go ahead and go to the top one, the first category. Let's just change it to 60 and save. So we have our that's helpful. It's okay. Let's just use Chrome this time. So same deal here. Let's go into growth, change it to 60, save it. Ooh, hello. So the first one is the one that we've changed. All that we want to see is that things are working correctly, and we do in fact have our % is set to 60 now. So I think that will handle it for what we'll do in this video. So right now we're able to display. Won't take us long to be able to actually save things. We have our buttons that are working automatically since we've done that previously. We will have to handle this. So if we go into the create, of course right now we're not showing any of the categories because the categories we're using are based on the categories of the plan, and this is a new plan. So we have an empty array right now. But we'll take care of that. So we'll probably just pick up here in the next video. So until then, I will talk to you later. Thank you for taking the time to watch our video. I know that your time is valuable. If you liked the video, please subscribe to our channel and click the thumbs up button, as well as share the video with your friends. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please leave them in the comments section below. And once again, thank you, and I will talk to you in the next video.